So we choose fear, and our attention go out, listening to what our conditioning is saying. But to choose love would be to stay here, to not go there, to listen to the mind and to feel the disturbance inside. Because if somebody said something or a circumstance does not suit me, then it will trigger something in me, and there will be some movement of energy inside, and I will tend to go out to try to say something to control the situation, or like that. So to avoid to feel this disturbance mean to not stay here. I go there out to not feel that, and I express it, this emotion, or I suppress it. So that's a strategy of avoidance. But to not avoid would be to stay here. And it's also speak about our true nature, which is our witness consciousness, which is not in time and space, which is always the same, which is taking everything as it is without judgment, without uh, picking up what I like, I don't like, no preference, no desire, like Buddha was teaching us. Um, Desire is the root of suffering. So to not have a preference or desire internally is what he was teaching us. Yes. Outwardly, it may manifest as some apparent choice in practical, but inside this kind of state of all is okay. So it's not a personal state, it's a state which is impersonal, which is like our impersonal consciousness. And so from this space, our true nature, then it loves everything. It loves everything as it is. So if we choose to stay here instead of going out, following our thought, our fears, emotions, and um, which are conditioning our life, then if we don't choose that, we choose love over fear, because love is what is taking everything as it is. So it's really about being here, because here is really the place where we have been always, which we cannot leave, because our nature has no, as I said last Sunday, has no leg and no to go anywhere, because there is no time and space. We no beginning, no end, never born, never die. So this is our nature. So staying here means staying in. This is the name of this meeting: living eternity. To stay in this, what we are, and let the movie happening. Like my own master Ishwapuri said, you have done so many things in this life, in past life. What if from today you would say, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything, I let the body mind do whatever it has to do, but I stay here. I stay here. I am done. So he was not talking to Frank. He was talking to what I am, consciousness, or the self, and saying to that what I am, let the body mind, let Frank do whatever it has to do, but you just stay here, just enjoy the movie as it is. So the message is quite clear. You know, since I think 10 years now, he told me that uh, you have time to mature this, and to ponder over that, and to meditate. So, and it's really same like saying, you know, you are that. You know, when they say this in the Vedanta Tatwam Asi, you are that. So it's like a click. You, yes, you know, whatever happened in the movie, even dying, being born, or whatever happens, anyway, you are that. Yes. So anything you would like to to share or ask about this?
Well, thank you so much, Frank. It's just super amazing the way you have explained it
Yeah.
and correlated it with um, I am that, and bringing all the teachings together. Question is, how do you practically do this?
Practically, if the direct way is to not do anything, because to stay here you have nothing to do. To go there, meaning to listen to the mind or to the outside or to the whatever is our conditioning, it means to go there. We leave ourselves. The moment we listen to the mind or our beliefs, we go there to listen to it, right? But every thought is just a thought. We pretend that it is our thought, it's my thought, but it came without asking our permission, if we really look. So our beliefs, they come, it's a formula which is a combination of our ancestors and the society, making that there is a belief that it is like that. But it's just a belief. So all our conditioning and belief are not us, but we take it for what we are. So, and we go there to listen, and we follow that. But if we don't go there, then we stay here. And to stay here, we just have to stop going out, staying here. So that is a direct way. But of course, if we are identified with this body mind and we are used to go out, then we can use some tools, some tricks. That's why in Indian practices there is things like mantra, remembering your master, or listening to the inner sounds, or any kind of practice who may help. Or even people do yoga or breathing. Yes, but all the practices are just a mean to stay here, because our attention is out. So any tool we'll use will be just for that purpose, to stay here, because that's where we have always been, and we cannot go out of here. We are, to put it in a apparently negative way, we are imprisoned in ourselves, because there is nowhere else to go, because there is only the self. So to realize that we are in truth not in prison, because there is nothing bounding us there, because there is only the self or God. So we cannot leave it. So if we can do the direct path to just being here and just noticing the movement of the mind going out and this and that, but staying here, well, if not, we can use any tool to help bring back attention to a center. We can have a defined center, for example, in the third eye, or in the any other center you want. In my tradition, I've been following since 30 years, it's in the third eye center. But you can choose a located center or not, just a presence, a center as a presence. So you bring back your attention to the center. So that's become a practice, a sadhana. Until you don't need to do sadhana. And in my case, I sometimes I do, sometimes not. Sometimes I don't need, sometimes I do. So you, according to where you are, you use tools or not. Yes. Is it replying to what you were asking?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I don't know, for you, in your what are you using some tools like that, some mantra or some?
I use mantra, or I just sit in silence or use the breath. The moment I can connect back with the consciousness, but sometimes I'm so out there that I need to start chanting the mantra and then gradually come to the breath and then gradually fall back in that space. So, depending on how far I have left.
Yes, yes, Yes. So you see, that's the point. You use some techniques. So we call it sadhana. We,
Mm-hmm.
it's a Sanskrit term. Maybe some people don't know the name. It means practice. So practice. If we have not this awareness to be here, and so especially what happens in if we feel centered and aligned, it may happen and it will happen that in life someone will come and trigger you, or a situation, or even nobody, just you get nervous about something, or something make you angry and you lose your center. Or let's take the example of someone tell you something, is angry with you, or say something you don't like. Then it will turn something inside, and the tendency will be to not feel that, to go out again, to avoid this feeling of disturbance, and either to shout outside or to say something to express it, and in a non-conscious way, which is like a reaction. It's not a response which come from a space, a quiet space. It's a reaction. So either we react, express, or we suppress inside. So then we can practice when we have this triggering. We are triggered by someone. We just can use presence or a mantra or anything we like, or breathing, and try to expand more and more every day. We can try to expand this timing, this space between the event and our response, rather than a reaction, allowing to feel that, because usually we jump out because we, by fear. It's all about fear or love, because we have to choose. Either we choose love and we stay here, mean embracing what is love, or fear, and to jump out because we fear to feel what is here uncomfortable. So it's love or fear. Every moment I have a choice between love and fear. Does it resonate with you in the way I explain?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Anything else about that? Or something else? Any other thing to share or to ask?
Yeah, if you could also speak about the connection with surrender and how we could use that in this practice.
Yes. So surrender is same, no, same thing. It's just different word to explain, in my sense, the same thing. When we go out, we, by fear of feeling disturbance, then we don't surrender. We resist, we fight, control. So the opposite of surrender is fight, resist, control. But if we don't, instead of avoiding, by fear, avoiding to feel a disturbance, if we surrender instead of controlling or fighting, surrender and open, and we allow this disturbance to be felt. And by allowing to be felt or to be there, we allow a part of our mind tendencies or samskaras to leave our pockets of karmas, or whatever what is in the system. So if otherwise, if we block it, it stays inside. Even if we express, it will come out as a boomerang, or if we suppress, it stays inside. In both cases, it stays inside. Only if we stop to try to manipulate, to control, to fight, to resist, which is the opposite of surrender. So only if we don't do that, if we surrender, we allow things to go out, leave our system. So it's not often talked about, because it's like the sherry of, I would say, of spirituality, because most of practices or teaching, they stand before that, to try to maintain a certain state which is not stable, and people go out, and in and out of it, and but to have the courage to go through this stuff, and not pleasant energy also, to let them out, and in that time we can, okay, instead of getting angry at someone, we just feel here and we surrender to God, or we bring back attention to the moment, to our center, and or to our master if we have, so it's like a cleaning process. So it's part of the game to surrender and to have no like the saint, in Saint Matt they say the saints, they have no preference between hell and heaven. This, Baba Sawanting, he says that hermit have a preference for heaven rather than hell. So he will work all his life to achieve that, to reach some heaven, some state of heaven. But he say a saint is higher than that, in a sense that he has no preference. He just wants to surrender to God, or to life, or to consciousness. So he has no preference for hell or heaven, good or bad, pain or pleasure, no preference. His choice is only God, or only consciousness, only the self. That's how the awareness can rise above the personal consciousness, which is always fighting with what I like, what I don't like, pain and pleasure at this level. As long as we've been stuck at this level, we stay stuck as an individual incarnation, individual, and we stay on the wheel like that. So the only way is to realize what we are not. What we are is not in that system. Even now it is not in the system. It's only the characters. So now we have to question, I am a human being who have some spiritual experiences, or I am the divine who has a human experience. We have to choose. Yes, I heard that sentence some time back, and I really like that.
It's beautiful. Could you
Yeah.
say it again?
Yes.
And just explain that sentence again.
Yes. Question: am I a human being who have spiritual experiences, or am I a divine spirit who have human experience? So it achieves the whole thing, you see, instantly. If you can hear it, it's like, oh, you know, it's just I'm that who having a human experience. I'm not a human. I'm that who is having a human experience. So I'm not rejecting the human experience, but I'm aware that I am that who is having a human experience. It becomes very light, because the I disappear in that. Instead of being I do this, I do that, I don't do this, I want this. This I is the main problem. But if there is no I, and you see it's only consciousness or God who is doing things, that we are not the doer, the real doer, then it becomes light. It becomes very light, and just we feel that, oh, life is just expressing itself as she likes. What do I have to say in that? So I surrender to life, or to God, or to consciousness, and I see it as a movie with unfolding moment by moment. And sometimes it feels like, now, for example, I do a training which is quite intense, and sometimes I say why I'm doing that, and I feel it push in a way, when you have some intense time, to let go of, okay, let the movie shoot as it wants, life as she likes, and just be here. And so it's like you are just consciousness witnessing what is happening, but yes, surrender. Anything like this you have experienced yourself?
No, I'm not there yet.
But sometime, maybe little
Yeah,
moment where
little moment.
yes, you feel it's just going on. Yes.
Yeah,
You don't know where it's going, it's going on, but you don't know where it's going. And I know there is a kind of happiness in that and joy, because you don't need to know where it's going. You just, the actor is acting like that, but you just, stay here. And yeah, and the actor will be with his whatever. Yes. So surrender, and then yes, that's how we can connect with love also. Love, devotion is surrender with this understanding that it's also consciousness or the God self who is taking everything as it is, you know. So it's, and this consciousness, God self, is taking the actor, is taking Frank as it is with all its imperfection. There is no judgment. It's only the mind was idea of plus and minus, good and bad. So we think that God is the same. We picture God as like a human being through a mind who judges what is good, what is bad. He likes us or he does not like us. But it's a totally different system. There is no mind, so there is no preference. That's why we can't understand. Like when masters like Jesus say he loves people who kill and rob and do bad things, he loves them as much as people who are doing good. For the mind, it is unacceptable. You see, now we see what happened in some country like Israel, war, or there is always some wars. I heard someone yesterday say there is 17 conflict in the world now. I don't know if it's true, but it's always, no, there is always conflicts. So yes, for the mind it is totally unacceptable that people be that way, and I agree at this level. But for consciousness, pure consciousness, or God, there is, yes, because it's not, it knows that this movie is not really happening. It appears to happen. It's like in the dream. In the dream, maybe somebody will see, and somebody will kill someone else, and maybe will come with guns and kill 100 people in our dream, and they die, and there is blood and a lot of suffering, and it's a nightmare. And we wake up. Thank God there was nothing, you see, but it was really happening in the dream, no doubt. But when we wake up, nothing. So what if we see this world, if more and more see this in the same way, that for consciousness it's not really happening. That's why it takes everything as it is, because it's just an experience. But in that experience of dying, nobody dies. In that experience of suffering, nobody suffers. It's just an experience. So, but it's not possible to tell that. Many people would react very strongly to that. Sometimes I did, and it's not need to do that, because it's not receivable by some kind of people, and it's understandable that they can't take it. But the reality is that. So that's why consciousness is loving all as it is without preference, including us. What we are is taking the character as it is with all its imperfection. And in this there is a big, huge breathing release, because we constantly judge ourselves with our mind. We feel guilty. You are doing bad. You are not doing this. You should be like this. You should be better. Our mind, with its conditioning, is constantly judging ourselves. But consciousness itself, if we realize we are that consciousness, there is no judgment. And that is love, in my sense. Is that understandable?
Yeah.
Yes. I think we have heard this thing, but all of us, but it's good to repeat them together to remind us like that. If you want to share something like that, welcome. Anyone want to share something? No?
Nilima?
No? Okay. So, if there is nothing more, maybe would you like to do? Is there any other thing you would like to talk about before we do a little meditation? No? Okay. So, would you like to do a meditation together? Few
Yes,
minutes?
yes.
Okay, good. So, maybe would you like to cut your mic if possible? Yes.
Nilima,
Yes.
Yes.
did you mute?
Mute, yes.
No. I.
Yes.
No.
Yes, thank you. So, we'll sit together to finish this meeting, um, closing our eyes. Breathing is always a good start. Whatever, we don't have to, if, but it's a good start to breathe, to connect with that. And while we exaggerate a little bit our breathing to connect with it, can feel it in our abdomen. To feel it in the abdomen, allow to release the tension in the top of the body, the shoulders and chest. So we are aware to be where we are sitting in this room, and we just notice if there is some tension in the body or mental tensions. In the chest, some emotions, and any kind of energetic disturbance. If there is not, very good. All is allowed to be as it is, and to do that we can give space around, expand our attention as a invisible screen witnessing and we can feel, if we need, or visualize in the way we like, this consciousness which is everywhere, all around, inside, outside, as a loving presence, unconditional loving presence, which is taking everything absolutely as it is, whether fear, tension, any kind of manifestation. No resistance. And if there is resistance, we just let them be. We don't resist to the resistance. The root of our suffering is to fight, to resist, to control. So the opposite is to stay open, to surrender to what is. Sitting in our absolute, permanent, eternal self, which is never born, will never die. So we are already where we have to go. It's just our awareness when it is going outside where we lose ourselves. But our true self is already home, experiencing all whatever we're experiencing. We have just lost awareness of what and who we are. So we are always welcome to realize that when we feel we are out, we just take time to see it. We close our eyes, or if not, you can learn how to stay here and choosing love instead of fear. Developing the strength to stay here. So it's not about going anywhere, but to stop living where we are. So we can open our eyes slowly, come back together. And if you want to open your mic to say anything or just bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
Have
you,
a
Poonam.
good weekend.
Yes, yes, yes. So, bye, Nilima also, and others.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Yes. Have a nice end of weekend.
Bye.